Why do Americans move so often? In many countries, moving to another city is a huge life event. People often stay close to their family, their hometown, their school friends, and the streets they grew up on. But in the United States, moving is much more normal. For many Americans, packing boxes, renting a truck, and starting over in another city or even another state is not something shocking. It is almost part of the American lifestyle. But why does this happen so often? The first big reason is work. The United States is huge, and job opportunities are not spread equally across the country. One city may have many tech jobs, another may be strong in healthcare, another in construction, oil, finance, or logistics. So if a person gets a better job offer in another state, they may seriously consider moving. For them, the question is not always, should I stay where I was born? The question is often, where can I build a better future? This is especially common among young professionals. They may finish college in one state, get their first job in another, and then move again a few years later for a better salary, a promotion, or a completely different career path. In American culture, moving for work is often seen as a sign of ambition. If there is a better opportunity somewhere else, many people believe you should go after it instead of waiting for life to change around you. The second reason is education. In the United States, it is very common for students to leave home after high school and study in another city or state. College is often the first major move in a young American's life. A teenager may grow up in a small town, then move hundreds or even thousands of miles away to attend university. They live in a dorm, meet new people, work part-time jobs, and slowly build an independent life. After graduation, many students do not return home. They may find a job near their university, move to a bigger city, or follow friends, partners, or career opportunities. One move for education can easily become the beginning of a completely new life. The third major reason is housing. In America, the cost of living can be dramatically different from one state to another. Life in California, New York, or Massachusetts can be extremely expensive compared to states like Texas, Florida, Tennessee, or parts of the Midwest. Rent, home prices, taxes, insurance, gas, and even groceries can change a lot depending on where you live. So many Americans do the math and realize that a high salary in an expensive city does not always mean a better life. For example, someone may earn more money in Los Angeles or New York, but spend most of it on rent and bills. In another state, they might earn a little less, but afford a bigger home, lower taxes, and a more comfortable lifestyle. This is why many Americans move from expensive states to cheaper ones. They are not always looking for adventure. Sometimes they are simply trying to escape the feeling that they are working only to pay rent. For families, this is even more important. Parents think about schools, safety, space, and long-term stability. A small apartment in an expensive city may cost more than a house with a yard in another state. The fourth reason is credit and mortgages. In the United States, many major life decisions are connected to credit. Houses, cars, education, and even businesses are often financed through loans. So people pay close attention to monthly payments. Owning a home is still a major part of the American dream. But that dream looks very different depending on the state. In one city, a small house may be almost impossible to afford. In another, the same money can buy a comfortable family home. So for many Americans, moving is not just emotional. It is financial. They ask themselves, where can I actually afford the life I want? And if the answer is another state, they may decide to go. The fifth reason is rent. A lot of Americans rent instead of owning a home, especially when they are young. And renting makes people more flexible. If the lease ends, the rent goes up, or the neighborhood changes, moving becomes a real option. Of course, moving still costs money and energy. But psychologically, it feels easier when you do not own the place. You are not tied to one home for decades. You can change your apartment, your city, or your state when life changes. This is different from cultures where people often buy or inherit a home and stay there for a very long time. In the United States, renting can make life feel temporary, mobile, and open to the next opportunity. Another important reason is the size of the country itself. The United States is almost like many different countries inside one country. The weather, culture, economy, laws, taxes, and lifestyle can change completely from state to state. Moving from Minnesota to Arizona is not just changing your address. It can mean changing from snowy winters to desert heat. Moving from New York to Texas can mean a different pace of life, different prices, different politics, and different social habits. Because of this, Americans often see moving as a way to choose the life that fits them better. If they hate cold weather, they may move south. If they want more nature, they may move west. If they want a fast career, they may move to a big city. There is also a cultural reason, the idea of starting over. American culture has always had this strong belief that you can reinvent yourself. If your life is not working in one place, you can move somewhere else and begin again. This idea is deeply connected to American history. For generations, people moved west, crossed borders, built new towns, looked for land, jobs, gold, freedom, or a second chance. Movement became part of the national identity. Even today, you can hear this idea in everyday life. Someone gets divorced and moves to another state. Someone loses a job and starts over in a new city. Someone feels stuck and says, "Maybe I just need a fresh start." For many Americans, moving does not mean failure. It can mean hope. It can mean leaving behind bad memories, bad jobs, expensive rent, or a version of yourself you no longer want to be. Social media and remote work have also changed things. After the pandemic, many people realized they did not have to live near an office anymore. If they could work from a laptop, they could live somewhere cheaper, warmer, quieter, or closer to family. This created a new wave of movement. Some people left big cities because they no longer needed to pay high rent just to be near work. Others moved to smaller towns, suburbs, or states with lower taxes and more space. But there is another side to this story. Moving often can be exciting, but it can also be lonely. When people move again and again, they may lose close connections. Family is far away. Old friends become online friends. Community becomes harder to build. Children may have to change schools. Adults may have to start from zero socially. Even if the new place is cheaper or better for work, it can take years to truly feel at home. So American mobility has both advantages and disadvantages. It gives people freedom, opportunity, and flexibility. But it can also create instability, loneliness, and the feeling that life is always temporary. In the end, Americans move often because the country is built around movement. Jobs are spread out. Universities pull young people away from home. Housing prices push families to cheaper states. Credit and rent make people calculate every decision. And behind all of that, there is a powerful cultural idea. If life is not working here, maybe it will work somewhere else. In America, moving is not just changing where you live. Sometimes, it is a way to believe in a new beginning. That is why Americans move so often. Not always because they want to run away, but because they are searching for something better. A better job, a cheaper home, a safer neighborhood, a warmer climate, or simply a second chance. For many people, the American dream is not tied to one place. It is tied to the belief that somewhere out there, there might be a better version of life waiting for you.